Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Woodbine Mohawk Park on a gorgeous Saturday morning. Very warm, fast tracks, sunny skies for 11 baby races coming up. 2-year-old pacing colts on tap for today. And we're set to get things going here on this Saturday morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. First of 11 two-year-old qualifiers. Today, it's all two-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Scratch number 8. Mythic Gambler here in the first qualifier. So it'll be a field of 7. Let's meet the field. Number 1, Touch 'em All Joe. Is a 2-year-old colt by Roll with Joe out of an Art Major mare. Owned by Brian Legge, David Legge. Trained by Ken Susi. Chris Christopher will drive. 2 is Shadow Warrior, a shadow play colt out of a Badlands Hanover mare, owned by Dominic Chiaravalli and Dr. Ian Moore. Moore trains, Tyler Moore drives, a $33,000 London Select yearling sale purchase. Number 3, Desperate Man, is a 2-year-old colt by Shadow Play out of an Arts Place mare, owned by Kathy and John Chachin, Nicole Davies and Paul Davies. Kathy Chachin is the trainer. Trevor Henry drives a $20,000 Lexington buy. 4, Bazooka Hanover is a Captain Treacherous colt out of a Western Terre mare, owned by Steve Heimbecker, trained by Blake McIntosh. Doug McNair drives. This was a $200,000 Harrisburg buy. 5, Hakamoto is a shadow play colt out of a House of Fun mare, owned by Marie-Claude Auger, who's also the trainer and driver. 6, Ciros Blue Chip, American Ideal gelding out of an Art Major mare, owned by the stable Ciros Blue Chip, trained by Anthony McDonald. James McDonald drives, $16,000 Harrisburg buy. And 7 is Believe in Brian, Believe in Bruiser colt out of an artistic mare. Gerald Majal is the breeder and the owner. Louis Eftemias trains. Jody Jameson drives. Field of 7 on gate for the first qualifier, picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing. First call is going to go to Shadow Warrior towards the inside. Going along with him is Bazooka Hanover. And there in the center is Hako Mojito. Then at the rail, it is Touch 'em All Joe. Caught on the outside, Believe in Brian. Over to the pylons, Desperate Man. And the last one is Ciros Blue Chip. They're into the first turn, and Shadow Warrior is put on the front by Tyler Moore. Leads by a little more than a length and a half through an opening quarter of 30-1. So this field of 7 will move into the backstretch. Everybody down along the pylons except for Believe in Brian at the back of the field. It is Shadow Warrior the leader. In second, Bazooka Hanover. Racing third is Touch 'em All Joe. Then in fourth, Hako Mojito. Racing in fifth is Desperate Man. Sixth is Ciros Blue Chip. And now Believe in Brian, seventh, moves over to the pylons. Their single file order as they approach the midway point. 30-1 was the opening quarter, and there's not a lot of speed here in the second quarter. It's still going to be Shadow Warrior the leader, past the half in 1:01-1. So it was a 31-second even, second quarter there. And it's Shadow Warrior who takes this group of 7 into the far turn. In second is Bazooka Hanover. Third continues to be Touch 'em All Joe. Then in fourth, Hako Mojito. 2 lengths back to Desperate Man, who's looking to get things going for Henry. Followed by Ciros Blue Chip and Believe in Brian. 3 quarters is coming up next for Shadow Warrior and the Son of Shadow Play. Leads the Captain Treacherous colt Bazooka Hanover by a length and a half. Third continues to be Touch 'em All Joe, and Desperate Man got underway, is now up into fourth. 1:30-2 for 3 quarters. They're into the stretch, and they look to sprint on home. Shadow Warrior at the inside now gives way. Bazooka Hanover off the 2-hole trip is powered to the top, but out in the center of the track, here comes Desperate Man with good strides. Touch 'em All Joe into third. Bazooka Hanover and Desperate Man is down to these two to decide it in the opener, and on the outside, Desperate Man is going to get up to win. Bazooka Hanover was second, Touch 'em All Joe third, Shadow Warrior fourth, Hako Mojito fifth, followed by Believe in Brian and Ciros Blue Chip. 157-2 for Desperate Man. Here's the order of finish from qualifier number 1. Number 1, Touch 'em All Joe was third. Number 2, Shadow Warrior fourth. Number 3, Desperate Man the winner. Number 4, Bazooka Hanover second. Number 5, Hako Mojito was fifth. Number 6, Heroes Blue Chip seventh. Number 7, Believe in Brian sixth. And number 8 was Scratch. Top to bottom, 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, 7, 6. Scratch on the bottom. Fractions were 30 and 1, 101 and 1, 130 and 3, 157 and 2. For the winner, number 3, Desperate Man, a 2-year-old colt by Shadow Play, out of the Arts Place mare Dreamlands Latte, owned by Kathy and John Chikeen. Nicole Davies and Paul Davies, trained by Kathy Chikeen. Trevor Henry was in the sulky, $20,000 Lexington by, 7th full out of that Arts Place mare. Wins here in 157 and 2 in his qualifying debut. One note to pass along, AGCO judges have informed us that the track condition will be listed as good, with a 1-second variant to begin the qualifying session. There will be an update as the morning goes along. Starting gate moving for the second qualifier will be a field of 8. James McDonald drives 1, Big Bang Bang. Here is the field. Number 1, Big Bang Bang, is the son of Believe in Bruiser out of an Arts Place mare, owned by Michael Verderamo, who is also the trainer. James McDonald drives 2 is Brilliant Corners, a 2-year-old gelded son of Better Than Cheddar out of a Real Desire mare, owned by the stable Brilliant Corners, trained by Anthony McDonald. Sylvan Filion drives. 3 Combatant is a Royal Majesty colt out of a Western Hanover mare, owned by Hut Racing Stable. And Blake McIntosh trains. Louis-Philippe Waugh will drive, an $8,000 London buy. 4, Mr. Charisma, Better Than Cheddar colt out of a Pandorosa mare, Hut Racing Stable. VQ Peninen, Daniel Davis, Penny of Hope stables are the owners. Blake McIntosh trains. Doug McNair drives, $20,000 Lexington buy. 5, Marlboro Sealster's a Better Select colt out of a McCardle mare, owned by Jeff Snyder, Michael Snyder, and Dr. Ian Moore. Moore trains. Trevor Henry drives, a $270,000 London buy. 6, What Can You Say, is an Up the Credit gelding out of an Art Major mare, owned and trained by Carl Jameson, Jody Jameson in the sulky. 7, Drowns the Whiskey, a Better Than Cheddar colt out of an Australia's mare, owned by Joanne Colville, Nancy McNeven, along with Robbie Wibawa. Jack Moiseyev trains, Phil Hudon drives, and the 8 is Sobel Attack. Sobel Hill Farms owns his better Light Gelding out of an Up the Credit mare. Otis Hall trains, and Bob McClure is in the sulky. They're off and pacing here in the second qualifier, and Marlboro Sealster shoots out from the center. Off stride in the early going was Mr. Charisma. He'll have to reset. At the inside, there's Combatant to get away. In a good spot, forwardly placed by Wah. On the outside, driving ahead, though, is What Can You Say? Into the first turn, it's Big Bang Bang in fourth. In fifth is Drowns the Whiskey, followed sixth by Brilliant Corners, and seventh is Sobel Attack. And still off stride at the back, that is Mr. Charisma. Opening quarter was 29-1. So 29-1 opener. And the leader is What Can You Say? Debut qualifier for this gelded son of Up the Credit. He's taking them up the backside. In second, Marlboro Sealster would be content to ride the leaders back under a good hold. And now coming out from fourth, here is Big Bang Bang, who gets underway for McDonald, and he is sweeping up now into second. In fourth is Combatant, racing fifth. To the outside, now getting underway, Drowns the Whiskey. Then it'll be Brilliant Corners, followed by Sobel Attack, and the trailer's Mr. Charisma. 1 minute even, the half-mile clocking. And as they enter the far turn, Big Bang Bang has taken up the top spot now. Big Bang Bang the leader as they go by 5/8. That puts What Can You Say in second. Here on the outside is Drowns the Whiskey. In this middle half, he's grinding his way up, looking to get up to the leader's wheel. Off cover a little bit, though, is Brilliant Corners. Inside to Marlboro Sealster, fifth. And then at the rail, Combatant. Outside is Sobel Attack. Last is Mr. Charisma. 129 for 3/4. They're into the stretch. And the leader, it was Big Bang Bang. But here on the outside, Drowns the Whiskey pokes ahead up in front. Drowns the Whiskey. What Can You Say in behind for Jameson now? And then in the center of the track is Brilliant Corners, and Marlboro Sealster is coming on. The leader is Drowns the Whiskey as they come into deep stretch. What Can You Say to the inside? Drowns the Whiskey to win. What Can You Say was second. Marlboro Sealster third. Fourth went to Brilliant Corners. 157-1. Qualifier 2, order of finish. Number 1, Big Bang Bang was 3rd. Number 2, Brilliant Corners 4th. Number 3, Combatant 5th. Number 4, Mr. Charisma 8th. Number 5, Marlboro Sealster 3rd. Number 6, What Can You Say 2nd. Number 7, Drowns the Whiskey the winner. And number 8, Sobble Attack was 6th. 3, 4, 5, 8, 3, 2, 1, 6 is your order of finish. Fractions were 29 and 1. 1 minute even, 129, 157 and 1 for the winner. Number 7, Drowns the Whiskey. This is a 2-year-old colt by Better Than Cheddar out of the Australia's mare, Australian. Joanne Colville, Nancy McNeven, along with Bernard Murphy, Robbie Wibblewa, share ownership. Jack Moise of Trains, Phil Houdon was in the sulky. Third qualifier, 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Number 1, Victory Move is an American Ideal colt of a powerful toy mare owned by Hut Racing Stable, Steve Heidenbecker, and Blake McIntosh. Blake McIntosh trains, Doug McNair drives, a $65,000 Lexington buy. 2 is Snap Call, 2-year-old colt by Shadow Play out of an Albert mare owned by Dr. Ian Moore, RG McGroup Limited, and Serge Savard. Ian Moore trains, Tyler Moore drives, $57,000 Harrisburg purchase. 3 is Major Bean, an Art Major colt out of a Camluck mare owned and trained by Carl Jamieson, Jody Jamieson in the sulky, $28,000 Lexington purchase. 4 is Gold Train, a State Treasurer colt out of an American Ideal mare owned by Paul Davies, Nicole Davies, John Chakeen, along with Deborah Pinnell. Trainer drivers Paul Davies, a $13,000 Alberta Standard Red Horse sale purchase. Number 5, Yankee Litigators, and always be Mickey Colt of a Some Beach Somewhere mare. Dan Legacy owns and trains. Bob McClure listed to drive, $30,000 Harrisburg buy. 6 is Braemar, betting line colt out of a Grin from Ear to Ear mare owned by the stable Braemar Group. Amy McDonald trains, James McDonald drives, $30,000 Lexington purchase. 7, No Better Joy, Better Than Cheddar colt out of an All-American Ingot mare. Bruno Camegna owns, Nicky Camegna trains, Bob McClure listed to drive, $46,000 London buy. And 8 is Beach Hunter, Stephen Klinowski is the owner breeder. Carmen Osceola trains, Jonathan Drury drives the son of Sunshine Beach out of a Hunterstown mare. And they're off and pacing here in qualifier number 3, and off-stride at the beginning went No Better Joy. So No Better Joy made a miscue and just rocketing out to the top. This is Major Bean. Major Bean to lead them by 4 into the first turn. Snap Call in second, third is Victory Move. Getting away fourth is Gold Train. Then it is Yankee Litigator, followed by Braemar and Beach Hunter as they roll into the first bend. Up top, this is Major Bean leading comfortably by about 3 lengths with a sharp opening quarter, 29 and 1. So it'll be Major Bean, the son of Art Major, swinging them up the backside. Closing the gap in second is Snap Call. Then in third, that is Victory Move. Followed fourth by Gold Train. Fifth up the backstretch, Yankee Litigator. Then it is Braemar. And at the back of the pack, Beach Hunter. And still having some issues at the back, that is No Better Joy, who's now into the center of the track for McClure. As they come up towards the midway point, the leader is Major Bean. Major Bean cut out in 29 and 1 opener. This is going to be a slower second quarter here, as he'll be by the half in 1 minute and 4/5. So definitely back down there here in the second split. So now they race into the far turn, looking for the rookies to ramp it up. They were tightly packed as they roll into the far turn, and as they race by 5/8, it's still Major Bean with the lead. Snap Call in second, now out from fourth. Underway, here comes Gold Train for Davies, advancing into third. Inside fourth is Victory Move. Break of about 3 lengths going back to Yankee Litigator. At the inside is Braemar, and the final two continue to be Beach Hunter and No Better Joy. Coming up to 3/4, it's been all Major Bean. 1:29 and 4, 29 seconds even in the third quarter off the turn and into the stretch. Major Bean with the lead. On the outside, this is Gold Train up to the leader's wheel and trying to grind his way on by. Victory Move in the center of the track is third. Inside fourth is Snap Call. Back in fifth is Braemar. They're into the final 16th. Good battle going on up front here. Major Bean trying to go coast to coast on the outside. Gold Train getting a nose up in front, and it's Gold Train to win. Major Bean was second. Time of the mile, 1:57 flat. Here's the order of finish from the third qualifier. Number 1, Victory Move was 4th. Number 2, Snap Call was 3rd. Number 3, Major Bean 2nd. Number 4, Gold Train the winner. Number 5, Yankee Litigator 6th. Number 6, Braemar 5th. Number 7, No Better Joy 7th. And number 8, Beach Hunter was 8th. 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 7, 8 is your order of finish. Fractions 29 and 1. A minute 4 fifths. 129 and 4. 157 flat for the winner. Number 4, Gold Train, a 2-year-old colt by State Treasure out of the American Ideal mare 2 Ideal, owned by Paul Davies, Nicole Davies, John Chakeen, and Deborah Pinnell. Paul Davies, the trainer-driver, a $13,000 yearling purchase in Alberta. This is Gold Train that takes the third of 11. Here we go for the fourth qualifier. Scratch number 4, Desperado, and looks like number 8, Sir Shadow, is out as well. So it gives us a field of 6. Number 1, Frank Dufford, is a $19,000 Lexington buy. This son of sports writers out of a Rock and Roll Hanover mare, owned by Daniel Plouffe, along with John Christophe Plouffe and Blake McIntosh. McIntosh trains, James McDonald steers. 2, State Centerer, is a homebred for Brad Grant. Scott McInerney trains, Doug McNair drives, son of State Treasure out of a Shadow Play mare. 3, Nelson Eddie Hanover, Some Beach Somewhere Cold out of a Better's Delight mare, owned by Nurko Sokolovic and Craig Bars. Bars trains, Jody Jameson drives, $15,000 Harrisburg buy. 4 is out. 5 is Can't Stop Lying, Sunshine Beach Cold out of a Western Hanover mare, owned and bred by Millar Farms. Nick Gallucci trains, Bob McClure will steer. 6, Blue Monk, Up the Credit Cold out of a Real Desire mare, owned by the stable Blue Monk Group. Mario Bayargenos, the trainer-driver. And 7 is Proline, a sports writer colt, owned by Frederick Wolford and Doug Dunbar, along with Jack Ray. Ray is the trainer. Scott Ray in the sulky, a $21,000 London buy. Son of sports writer out of an LH Striker mare. 8 is scratched. Here is the field. It's a group of 6, picking up speed, and here they come. And they're off and pacing. nobody really hustling out of there just yet. So the Blue Monk is going to step forward from Mario Baerjean as he'll look to go to the top spot. Similar approach to what we saw last week here from this son of Up the Credit. Nelson Eddie Hanover gets away on the leader's back second, holding ground at the third. Frank Defford shoots ahead for McDonald. Settling in fourth is Proline for Ray. And then the final two is Can't Stop Lying and State Senator. Group of six enters the first turn. On top, it's Blue Monk. Blue Monk passed the opening quarter in 31 and 4. Off stride in second went Nelson Eddie Hanover. So Nelson Eddie Hanover made a break and has to go to the back as Jameson is trying to get that youngster reset. That son of some beach somewhere making his qualifying debut. Always watching for these youngsters into the first turn as they have to navigate the shadows, but as they go straight up the backstretch, it is just clear sailing here for Blue Monk. And Blue Monk off a 31 and 4 opener, probably going to give us a snappier second quarter here as he races past the half in 101 and 4. So that was 30 seconds even. Blue Monk on top here, trying to stay to his task here. Baerjean's got him on the lead in second. That is Frank Defford. Racing in third is Proline. Then it's a break of about 5 lengths going back to Can't Stop Lying. State Senators racing fifth, and then it's back to the first turn breaker, Nelson Eddie Hanover. To 3/4 they go, and Blue Monk is still the leader. Baerjean still chirping away at him as Blue Monk hits the third station in 1:30 and 4, so he went 29 seconds even in the third split. They've been faster quarters each time. Blue Monk called upon as he's trying to sprint on home. And then in second is Frank Defford, and here's Proline now showing clear racetrack, so it could be a 3 across finish coming up. Blue Monk still with the lead. In the center of the track, Frank Defford, and on the outside here is Proline, and Proline sweeps by late to win. It's Proline to take it. Frank Defford second, Blue Monk was third. Can't Stop Lying fourth, State Senator fifth, and Nelson Eddie Hanover will finish sixth. 158 flat for Proline. Order of finish from qualifier number 4. Number 1, Frank Defford was second. Number 2, State Senator 5th. Number 3, Nelson Eddy Hanover 6th. Number 4 was Scratch. Number 5, Can't Stop Lion 4th. Number 6, Blue Monk 3rd. Number 7, Proline the winner. And number 8 was Scratched. 2, 5, 6, Scratch 4, 3, 1. Scratch on the bottom. Fractions were 31 and 4, 101 and 4, 130 and 4, 158 flat for the winner. Number 7, Proline, a 2-year-old colt by Sports Writer out of the LH Striker mare Sauble Claire, owned by Frederick Wolford, Doug Dunbar, and Jack Ray. Jack Ray trained. Scott Ray was in the sulky. A $21,000 London yearling sale purchase. Qualifier number 5, Field of 8, is lining up. Number 1, Priority Lounge, is a 2-year-old colt by Shadow Play out of a no pan intended mare owned and bred by Millar Farms. Nick Gallucci trains, Bob McClure drives. 2, Dietrich Seelster, State Treasurer colt out of a Camelot mare owned by Sally McDonald and Paul McDonald. Dr. Ian Moore trains, Sylvan Filion steers, a $65,000 London purchase. 3, First Glance, is a gelded son of Thinking Out Loud out of Whitefish Falls mare White Glance. The stable First Glance owns, mare by Argent's the trainer driver. 4 is Great Somewhere, a Some Beach Somewhere colt out of a Western Ideal mare owned by Reginald Pettipaw, Dr. Ruth Irving, Jills Landry, and Blake McIntosh. McIntosh trains, Doug McNair drives, $47,000 London buy. 5, Take Control, a gelded son of Control the Moment out of an Arts Place mare owned by Ben Moudry and Dan Legacy. Legacy trains, James McDonald drives, $8,000 London purchase. 6 is Magnum Moon, a Shadow Play colt at a Western Ideal mare owned by James Wellwood, Jeffrey Wellwood, trained by Jim Wellwood. Jody Jameson drives, $27,000 Lexington purchase. 7 is Adrenaline Rush, a gelded son of Royal Majesty out of a Badlands Hanover mare owned by the stable Adrenaline Rush, trained by Kevin McMaster. Anthony McDonald drives. And the 8 is Initial Concept, Shadow Play colt out of a Rock and Roll Hanover mare owned by Dominic Chiravelli, Scott McEnany, Joe Tonelli, Mart West Racing Stable. McEnany trains, and the driver is Louis-Philippe Waugh. Initial Concept was a $37,000 Harrisburg buy. So this field of 8 is sent on their way for the 5th qualifier. And from the middle of this group, it is Magnum Moon who is going to forge his way ahead. Magnum Moon to be the early leader. Dietrich Seelster is in second. And then we're 3 across with Great Somewhere in the middle. Adrenaline Rush. Initial Concept's going to take back just to try and find a spot in the middle there. And it looks like there's one to land in right in front of Take Control, who gets away 6th. 7th is Priority Lounge. And 8th, that is, as they go past the opening quarter, First Glance. 30-1 was the opening split. Your leader is Magnum Moon, son of Shadow Play, leads by a length and a half, but Dietrich Seelster's out and around now for Filion. So he'll leapfrog to the lead just before 3/8. Dietrich Seelster, second qualifier for this son of State Treasurer, and he's put to the lead here in the second quarter. That puts Magnum Moon in the 2-hole, then racing in third, and tightening up the gap there is Adrenaline Rush, break of 3 lengths, going back to Great Somewhere in 4th, being followed 5th by Initial Concept, 6th. That is Take Control, and the final 2 in this group, Adrenaline Rush and First Glance. 59-2, the half-mile clocking as they enter the far turn. Dietrich Seelster is on the lead, and he's pacing strong, going around this big sweeping final turn here at Mohawk Park. The lead is growing. It's out to 3.5 lengths. Magnum Moon in second, trying to pick it up in third as they race towards 3/4. That continues to be Adrenaline Rush. 4th is Great Somewhere. 3/4 time, 1:27.2. So that was 28 seconds even in the third quarter. Dietrich Seelster is into the stretch. Dietrich Seelster on stop, putting in some bad steps there, but continuing to pace his Adrenaline Rush. In behind second is Magnum Moon. Out in the center of the track is Great Somewhere. Dietrich Seelster's got to find more. Here is Magnum Moon trying to reclaim the top spot. He led at this point the first time by, and as they come by for the final time, it is Magnum Moon to win. Dietrich Seelster was second. Third goes to Great Somewhere. Adrenaline Rush was 4th. First Glance 5th, followed by Initial Concept, Priority Lounge, and and Take Control, 155 and 4 for Magnum Moon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back and take a look at the results from qualifier number 5. That was our final qualifier before this morning's break. In the 5th qualifier, top to bottom, number 1, Priority Lounge, was 7th. Number 2, Dietrich Seelster, was 2nd. 3, First Glance, was 5th. Number 4, Great Somewhere, 3rd. Number 5, Take Control, 8th. Number 6, Magnum Moon, the winner. Number 7, Adrenaline Rush, 4th. And number 8, Initial Concept, was 6th. 725, 38, 146 is your order of finish. Fractions were 30 and 1, 59 and 2, 127 and 2, 155 and 4 for the winner. Number 6, Magnum Moon, 2-year-old colt by Shadow Play. The Western Ideal mare, Unread Hanover. This is the second foal from that Western Ideal mare, owned by Jim Wellwood, Jeffrey Wellwood, and BC Reichheld Stables. Jim Wellwood trains. Jody Jamieson was in the sulky, a $27,000 Lexington Select yearling purchase. Wings of the starting gate are now open. Here we go for qualifier number 6. We are resuming with this morning's action. 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings all morning, and that's exactly what we've got. And here is the field. Number 1, No Free Lunch, a 2-year-old gelded son of Sunshine Beach out of a Western Maverick mare. Owned by the stable No Free Lunch, trained by Harry Polton. Anthony McDonald drives. 2, Hurry Mickey Hanover, and Always Be Mickey Colt out of a Western Hanover mare, owned by Blake McIntosh and Ridgeway Racing, along with the Flanagan sisters. McIntosh trains. James McDonald drives to $37,000 Harrisburg buy. 3 is Jolsey Hanover, a 2-year-old colt by J.K. End of an Era out of a Camluck mare, owned by Ellie Bale and John Pentland. Pentland trains. Bob McClure drives, a $15,000 Harrisburg buy. 4, Next Big Thing, a gelded son of Shadow Play out of an Intrepid Sealster mare, owned by Robert McIntosh Stables, CSX Stables, and Dave Boyle. Bob McIntosh trains. Trevor Henry is in the sulky. 5, King and Duke is a 2-year-old colt by Shadow Play out of a Magical Mike mare, owned by Les Curie GLD Incorporated, La Ferme Tag Incorporated, Jean Roche Marois. The trainer is Gerard Demers. The driver will be Sylvain Filion. This was a $10,000 London buy. 6, Fonzie Ciacciarelli is a Better Than Cheddar colt out of a Sports Writer mare, owned by Ken Middleton. Middleton trains. Louis Waugh is in the sulky. 7, Uncontrollable, Control the Moment colt out of a Precious Bunny mare, owned by Scott McEnany, who trains. Doug McNair drives, a $6,000 London buy. As the starting gate swings into the stretch for qualifier number 6. And they're off and pacing as we resume with this morning's action. And it's Jolsey Hanover who splits out from post position number 3. Good speed towards the inside from Hurry Mickey Hanover, and Uncontrollables driving from the outside for McNair. King and Duke is going to be forwardly placed. At the inside is No Free Lunch. Then it is Next Big Thing, and Fonzie Ciacciarelli will get away in 7th. Around the first turn they go, and it's going to be Uncontrollable and Doug McNair to touch down on the lead at the opening quarter in 30 seconds even. So a 30-second opener for Uncontrollable, and this son of Control the Moment in his debut qualifiers up top. In 2nd is Jolsey Hanover. Racing in 3rd is Hurry Mickey Hanover. 4th is No Free Lunch. Settling in 5th is King and Duke. And then the final pair as they race up the backside. Next Big Thing and Fonzie Ciacciarelli. This group of 7 is being led by Uncontrollable, a $6,000 yearling buy, leading by 2 lengths off a 30-second opener. He's past the half in 59. No, make that 1 minute even. So another 30-second split here for Uncontrollable, who is not like his name, that's for sure. He's looking good on the lead. He leads by nearly 2 lengths. Jolsey Hanover is in 2nd. 3rd is Hurry Mickey Hanover. 4th, No Free Lunch. Inside 5th, King and Duke. Now advancing on the outside is Next Big Thing. Fonzie Ciacciarelli will follow his path. Out from 4th now, coming with a quick rush. Here comes No Free Lunch, and No Free Lunch is quickly up on even terms and looking to sweep on by to the lead. 3 quarters was 1:30 and 4. 30 and 4 in the 3rd quarter. That was the slowest quarter to this point. They spin into the stretch, and No Free Lunch strikes the front. Here's No Free Lunch on top. Uncontrollable back in 2nd. In the center of the track, Jolsey Hanover, and then in 4th is Hurry Mickey Hanover. 16th to go. No Free Lunch is on top. Approaching the edge of the tote board, No Free Lunch will win. Finishing 2nd, Uncontrollable. 3rd was Jolsey Hanover. Then it was Hurry Mickey Hanover, followed by Next Big Thing, King and Duke, and Fonzie Ciacciarelli. 1:56 and 4. 26-second final quarter. The winner, No Free Lunch. Order of finish from the 6th qualifier. Number 1, No Free Lunch was the winner. Number 2, Hurry Mickey Hanover 4th. Number 3, Jolsey Hanover 3rd. Number 4, Next Big Thing 5th. Number 5, King and Duke 6th. Number 6, Fonzie Ciacciarelli was 7th. Number 7, Uncontrollable 2nd. And number 8 was scratched. 1, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, 2, scratch on the bottom. Fractions were 30, a minute, 1:30 and 4, 1:56 and 4 for the winner. Number 1, No Free Lunch, a 2-year-old gelded son of Sunshine Beach out of the Western Maverick mare Simply Marvelous, owned by the stable No Free Lunch, trained by Harry Polton, driven to victory by Anthony McDonald, a second consecutive baby race victory for No Free Lunch, home in 26 even for a 1:56 and 4 score. In the upcoming 7th qualifier, Chris Christoforou will drive number 4, Salzbrook Hero. Number 1, Metallica, a shadow play colt out of a Northern Luck mare, owned and bred by Jack Darling Stables Limited. Darling trains, Jody Jameson drives. 2, Treasure Delight, State Treasure, a colt out of a Rock and Roll Hanover mare, owned by Doug Millard, trained by Chantel Mitchell. Randy Waples will drive. This was a $17,000 Lexington Select graduate. 3, War We Was Up is a War We Needy gelding out of a Rock and Roll Heaven mare, owned by the stable War We Was Up. Kevin McMaster trains, Anthony McDonald steers. 4, Salzbrook Hero is a better than Cheddar colt out of a Some Beach Somewhere mare, owned by Dustin Jones stables. Jones trains, Chris Christoforou drives, $18,000 London buy. 5, Captain of Rock and Roll is a Captain Treacherous colt out of a Rock and Roll Hanover mare, owned and bred by Bob Hamather. Casey Coleman Hurley will train, and Bob McClure will drive. $50,000 Harrisburg grad. 6 is Old Joe, a roll with Joe Colt out of a Western Hanover mare, owned by Hut Racing Stable, Steve Heimbecker and Blake McIntosh. McIntosh trains. Louis Watt drives, a $14,000 Goshen purchase. 7, Between I and You. Capers 3 stable owns. Wayne McGean trains. Sylvan Filion drives the son of State Treasure out of a Camlock mare. And the 8 is Big Idea. Greg McNair, Jim Newton, Bloomingwood Farms, and Paul Kidd are the owners. Greg McNair trains. Doug McNair driving this son of Big Jim out of an Art Major mare. That's your field of 8, and they are set on their way here in qualifier number 7. And it'll be Old Joe who comes through in the center. Outside of him is Between I and You. So they were next door neighbors on the wings of the gate, and they're 1-2 driving into the first turn. War We Was Up gets away in 3rd. Metallica is then in 4th. Captain of Rock and Roll on the outside. His inside is Salzbrook Hero, followed by Treasure Delight, and the final one is Big Idea. Opening split 30 seconds flat, and the rookies now work their way up into the backstretch, and it's a 2.5 length lead here for Between I and You. A winner last week in 2:01 with a 28-2 final quarter. Between I and You is going to do the heavy lifting here this morning as Filion puts his son of State Treasurer on the lead. Old Joe is in 2nd, racing in 3rd. That is War We Was Up. Then tightening up in 4th is Metallica with a break of 4 lengths back to Captain of Rock and Roll in 5th. Then 6th, that's Salzbrook Hero. 7th is Treasure Delight, and Big Idea is 8th. The half is hit in 59-1. 29-1 second quarter here for Between I and You. Between I and You is cutting the mile, leading here by just less than 2 lengths, while Old Joe is in 2nd. 3rd is War We Was Up. Then racing in 4th is Metallica. Still 5th, Captain of Rock and Roll, followed by Salzbrook Hero, Treasurer Delight, Big Idea. Nobody off the wood just yet as they hit 3 quarters in 1:28-1. That was a 3rd quarter in 29 seconds even. And Between I and You is now looking to storm on home for a 2nd consecutive baby race score. Old Joe has something to say about that in the middle. So too does War We Was Up. And on the far outside, Captain of Rock and Roll. In between rivals, Metallica now looking for some clear racetrack. But here's Captain of Rock and Roll from mid-pack all the way around, sweeping by in the lane to win. Captain of Rock and Roll will take it. 2nd was War We Was Up. 3rd then went to Old Joe, followed 4th by Metallica. 1:56-3 for Captain of Rock and Roll. Here are the results from the 7th qualifier. Number 1, Metallica was 4th. Number 2, Treasure Delight 6th. Number 3, Warwi was up was 2nd. Number 4, Salzburg Hero 8th. Number 5, Captain of Rock and Roll the winner. Number 6, Old Joe 3rd. Number 7, Between I and You was 5th. And number 8, Big Idea was 7th. 462, 81, 357, Jordan finish. Fractions 30 flat, 59 and 1, 128 and 1, 156 and 3 for the winner. Number 5, Captain of Rock and Roll, a 2-year-old colt by Captain Treacherous out of the Rock and Roll Hanover Mare Rock and Roll Example, owned and bred by Bob Hamather. Casey Coleman Hurley is the trainer. Bob McClure was in the sulky, a $50,000 Harrisburg grad. Next up is qualifier number 8. The wings of the starting gate are now open. No changes here. It's a field of 8. Number 1 is Big Teddy, a 2-year-old colt by Big Jim out of the Camluck mare Lucky Louisa, owned and bred by Ian Fleming and Greg McNair. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives. 2, Avion Sealster is a sports rider colt out of the Ponderosa mare Aqua Rosa, owned by Jack Darling Stables Limited. Darling trains, Jody Jameson drives, an $80,000 London buy. 3, Bet Mine, a betting line colt out of a Badlands Hanover mare, owned by Hut Racing Stable, trained by Casey Coleman Hurley, driven by Bob McClure, a $40,000 Lexington purchase. 4, Twinbee Heartthrob is a better than cheddar colt out of the Ponderosa mare Twinbee Intimate. Capers 3 Stable owns, Wayne McGee trains, Sylvan Filion drives, a $20,000 London purchase. 5, You Can't Touch This, Control the Moment colt out of an Art Major mare owned by Dustin Jones Stables and Diane Lapine, trained by Dustin Jones. Chris Christopher drives, $17,000 Harrisburg buy. 6 is Beef and Cheddar, a better than cheddar gelding out of a Royal Majesty mare owned by the stable Beef and Cheddar and Matthew Chappell. Anthony McDonald trains and drives. 7 is Bet on Blake, a better than cheddar colt out of a Shadow Play mare owned by John Copus Stables, Clay Horner, Dry Bar Stables, and Brian Zong, trained by John Copus. Randy Waples drives, a $23,000 London purchase. And 8, Somewhere in Verona, Some Beach Somewhere colt out of a Western Terre mare owned by Pettypaw Stable, Ozzie McKay, Blake McIntosh, Gilles Landry, trained by Blake McIntosh. James McDonald drives, a $22,000 Harrisburg purchase. Field of 8 is set on their way for qualifier number 8, and striding out to the early lead is Twinbee Heartthrob, fast off the wings of the gate, and will front this field of 8 towards the first turn. Beef and Cheddar slides into second, up the inside. Avion Sealster gets away third. You Can't Touch This will drop in fourth in front of Bet Mine, who gets away in fifth. Then racing 6 as they go around that first bend Somewhere in Verona in front of Big Teddy, and the final one is Bet on Blake. 29 and 1 was the opening quarter, and they race into the backstretch, a length and a half advantage here for Twinbee Heartthrob. Second qualifier for this son of Better Than Cheddar was a winner last week in 157 and 3 on a morning that was very windy. The track was good and 2 seconds off. That was a sharp performance, and he's looking for a repeat here today. Got company though, as Beef and Cheddar sits right on his back in second, and then right up there third is Avion Sealster. They've got about a 5-length break on the rest of them, as we'll go to You Can't Touch This in fourth, followed fifth by Bet Mine, then sixth, that is Somewhere in Verona, followed by Big Teddy, and the last one is Bet on Blake. The half was hit in 59 seconds flat, 29 and 4 in the second quarter. That was after a 29 and 1 split. They are racing around the final turn, and now from third, Jameson cues up Avion Sealster, and Avion Sealster flies up to the lead. Avion Sealster takes the top spot now away from Twinbee Heartthrob, and also coming to the outside, that is Beef and Cheddar. Then it's well back to You Can't Touch This, and the final four at the back of the pack. 3 quarters, 127 and 4. 28 and 4 third quarter. New leader Avion Sealster, the son of Sports Riders, looking to close this one out. Twinbee Heartthrob back in second, called upon, and McDonald is queuing up Beef and Cheddar, and he's finding a little bit more. Avion Sealster green dipping to the rail there, and that's going to open up the doors here in the middle for Twinbee Heartthrob, and on the outside Beef and Cheddar. It'll be Twinbee Heartthrob to come back for the win. Beef and Cheddar was second, third was Avion Sealster, then it was You Can't Touch This, followed by Somewhere in Verona, Bet Mine, Big Teddy, and Bet on Blake, 156 flat. he does, and he's got the confidence boost of having two consecutive baby race scores to begin his career. Was looking good on the lead and comfortable on the lead, but of course that move by Avion Seelster was strong on the final turn, and as you talked about, that's something that, and I think I've been calling the baby races for 4 or 5 years now. That was something 4 or 5 years ago you'd see multiple horses doing. These 2-year-olds just each year just continue to get better and better, and they just know what their job is. But gets green, and like you said, they'll get that horse straightened out. An $80,000 yearling buy that for 7/8 of a mile was looking pretty good. So we'll put a circle around Avion Seelster for when he returns. Beef and Cheddar, a grinding effort there. He was 5th last week, gets a 2nd place finish here today, and that son of Better Than Cheddar certainly held his own. The rest of them never really were in the mix in this one, which is interesting. The only other horse that was up near the front would have been You Can't Touch This. The rest just doing it on their own, and that's what you're going to get sometimes with some of these babies in their first time on the track and their first time they're going to the gate. Everybody's got their own assignment for the day. Yeah, they do, and I was interested to see what the numbers were going to be for this first weekend of the Prospect Series. I think they landed around 20 horses for the opening weekend there at Hanover Raceway, 3-year-old pacing fillies. The reason I was just curious to see what that would be is the fact that if you go in the first leg of the Prospect Series, you can't then race in the first leg of the grassroots, but it does feel and the trainers know their horses best. They know probably where they slot in. So we'll see if there's a bit of movement. Maybe the Prospect Series winners will try the grassroots the second time around, and there'll certainly be some that'll probably drop out of the grassroots after that first leg. So good component that's been added to the OSS program here, and continues to show why the OSS is likely the leading Sire Stakes program in North America. Qualifier number 8, here is the order of finish. Number 1, Big Teddy was 7th. Number 2, Avion Seelster 3rd. Number 3, Bet Mine was 6th. Number 4, Twinbee Heartthrob, the winner. Number 5, You Can't Touch This, 4th. Number 6, Beef and Cheddar, 2nd. Number 7, Bet on Blake, 8th. And number 8, Somewhere in Verona, was 5th. 7, 3, 6, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5 is your order of finish. Fractions 29 and 1, 59, 127 and 4, 156 flat for the winner. Number 4, Twinbee Heartthrob. 2-year-old colt by Better Than Cheddar. Out of the Panda Rosa mare, Twinbee Intimate. Bred by Twinbrook Limited, owned by Capers 3 Stable, a $20,000 London yearling sale by Wayne McGeen trains, Sylvain Filion drives, 2nd consecutive baby race score, 156 for Twinbee Heartthrob. Here in qualifier number 9, a couple of driver notes. Jonathan Drury drives the 7, Beach Blogger, and James McDonald will drive the 5, Watch My Beverage. Starting gate rolling. Qualifier number 9, 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Number 1 is Dragantine, a He's Watching colt out of a Dragon Again mare, owned and bred by Bob Key, Rod Boyd trains, and Sylvan Filion drives. The 2, Loyal Will, a Better Than Cheddar colt out of a Dream Away mare, owned by Winback Farm, trained by Blake McIntosh, James McDonald drives. The 3, Perfect Boy Hanover, or I should say the 2 is scratched out of this qualifier. So number 3, and starting from post 2, will be Perfect Boy Hanover. 2-year-old colt by Some Beach Somewhere out of a Better's Delight mare, owned by Fred Brayford, Blake McIntosh, Ridgeway Racing, and Not Kazilia Stable, trained by Blake McIntosh. Doug McNair drives a $95,000 Harrisburg buy. 4, Vino Louie, Sports Rider colt out of a Blissful Hall mare, owned by Claire Bradshaw, Brian Jameson. Bradshaw trains, Scott Young drives, $30,000 London buy. 5, Watch My Beverage is a He's Watching colt out of a Dragon Again mare, owned by Dean Lockhart, Jeffrey Ruck, and Paul Hauman, trained by Greg McNair, James McDonald drives. 6, Socrates Blue Chip, He's Watching colt out of a Rock and Roll Hanover mare, owned and bred by Blue Chip Bloodstock. Jeff Gillis trains, Jody Jameson drives, a $35,000 Harrisburg grad. 7, Beach Blogger, West Wind Stable, Steve Heimbecker, Kevin McKinley, and J.L. Benson Stable share ownership of this son of Sports Rider of a Shotgun Scott mare. Jonathan Drury drives for trainer Casey Coleman Hurley, a $50,000 Harrisburg buy. And number 8 is Island Beach Boy, a Some Beach Somewhere colt out of an Armborough McIntosh mare, owned by Ian Smith and Arnold Hagen, trained and driven by Marcel Barriot. They're off and pacing in the 9th qualifier, and out to the early lead. This is Vino Louie. So Vino Louie, take 2 for this son of Sports Rider. He'll front the field into the first turn, while Dragantine from the rail got away second. Perfect Boy Hanover lined right up behind him to get away in third. And then racing in fourth is Beach Blogger. First turn getting green there, and making a bit of a miscue was Watch My Beverage. The opening quarter was paced in 29 and 4. Off stride went Beach Blogger while racing in fourth. So moving into the backstretch, the top 3 of a bit of a breakaway. It is Vino Louie on top by a pair. Dragantine in second, Perfect Boy Hanover in third. Then it's back to Beach Blogger, followed by Socrates Blue Chip in fifth. Island Beach Boy, who is getting around Watch My Beverage at the rear of the field. Racing towards the half, and Vino Louie, the son of Sports Rider, leads. And then in third, getting green, that was Perfect Boy Hanover. So the half was hit in 58 and 4. 29 seconds even in that second quarter. The leader is Vino Louie. Dragantine, also in his second qualifier, second. The debuting Perfect Boy Hanover is back to the rail in third for McNair. In fourth, that is Beach Blogger, who's looking to catch up after having some difficulties early on. He's almost up to that top 3. Then racing in fourth is Socrates Blue Chip. Fifth is Island Beach Boy. And the last one is Watch My Beverage. It is Vino Louie at 3/4 in 1:27 and 2. So they'll turn for home off a 28 and 3/3 quarter. Vino Louie is looking to seal the deal. Get some separation here. Is now 4 lengths on top. Back in second is Dragantine. Perfect Boy Hanover now paces up into second. Beach Blogger's looking to gain a spot. He's back in fourth. And then fifth, that is Socrates Blue Chip. And into the deep stretch now, Vino Louie from the word go was ready, and Vino Louie wins. Perfect Boy Hanover was second. Battle on for third appeared to go to Beach Blogger over Dragantine, followed by Socrates Blue Chip, Island Beach Boy, and Watch My Beverage. 154 and 3 for Vino Louie. Order of finish from qualifier number 9. Number 1, Dragantine was third. Number 2 was Scratch. Number 3, Perfect Boy Hanover second. Number 4, Vino Louis the winner. Number 5, Watch My Beverage seventh. Number 6, Socrates Blue Chip was fifth. Number 7, Beach Blogger fourth. Number 8, Island Beach Boy sixth. 3 Scratch, 2 1 7 5 4 6 is your order of finish. Fractions 29 and 4, 58 and 4, 127 and 2, 154 and 3 for the winner. Number 4, Vino Louis, material colt by Sports Rider out of the Blissful Hall mare Wilma Hall, owned by Claire Bradshaw and Brian Jameson. Bradshaw's the trainer, Scott Young the winning driver. $30,000 London yearling sale purchase. Vino Louis now 2 for 2 in baby race action, 159 and 3 last week. Here this morning, a 154 and 3 winner, home in 27 and 1. Number 1, Osias, is a Sweet Lou colt out of American Ideal mare, owned by Team Osias, trained by Dan Legacy. Louis Philippe Waugh drives, a $47,000 Lexington buy. 2 counter offers, a gelded son of Shadow Play out of a Camlock mare owned by Robert McIntosh Stables, CSX Stables, trained by Bob McIntosh, Trevor Henry steers. 3 West Coast Kid, a better than Cheddar colt out of a Western Hanover mare owned by West Wind Stables, Mac Nickel, Steve Heimbecker, and Kevin McKinley, trained by Casey Coleman Hurley, driven by Bob McClure. This was a $65,000 Lexington buy. 4 is Jim Rocks, a roll with Joe Cold out of a Rock and Roll Hanover mare, Windback Farm. The owner breeder, Blake McIntosh, trains. Doug McNair drives, an $18,000 Lexington grad. 5, Highland Beach Best, is a Some Beach Somewhere colt out of a Rock and Roll Hanover mare, owned and bred by Highland Thoroughbred Farm. Marty Fine shares ownership. Amanda Fine trains. Sylvan Filion drives. 6 is Hot Off the Press K, a Sports Rider colt out of a No Nukes mare. Bob Key, the owner breeder. Rod Boyd trains. James McDonald will drive. Then, number 7 is Saratoga Blue Chip. He's watching colt out of a Camlock mare owned by Larry Maneri, Michael Guerrero, Alan Alber, and George Harrison, trained by Anthony Beaton. Jody Jameson drives, $60,000 Harrisburg purchase. And 8 is Roy Hill, a Racing Hill gelding out of an Australia's mare the stable Roy Hill Group owns. Amy McDonald trains, Anthony McDonald drives, at $17,000 Ohio purchase. They're off and pacing in qualifier number 10, and these rookie pacing colts and geldings are going to head towards the first turn, and from the middle, Hot Off the Press K maybe is going to forge his way to the lead. Outside of him, Saratoga Blue Chip, inside West Coast Kid. Not much speed here in the early going. It's Highland Beach Best who is in fourth, going to settle in then as they race into the turn. On the outside, that is Roy Hill. Inside, Osias with the final 2, Counter Offer and Jim Rocks, the opening quarter 31 and 1. So as I mentioned, there wasn't a whole lot of tempo early on, but these youngsters are now situated, and this pack of 8 is heading up the backstretch, being led by Saratoga Blue Chip. He's watching colt, leads by a pair of lengths. Hot Off the Press K is in second. Third is West Coast Kid. Then racing in fourth is Highlands Beach Best. Fifth, as they go up the backstretch, that is Jim Rocks, followed then 6th by Osias, with the final 2 being Counter Offer and Roy Hill. The half was hit in 1 minute and 4. 1 minute and 4/5 is your half-mile clocking. They're entering the far turn. The leader continues to be Saratoga Blue Chip. Hot Off the Press K in second. Break of 2.5 lengths going back to West Coast Kid in third. Highlands Beach Best is in fourth, right on his back, racing fifth. That is Roy Hill. Sixth, Osias. Seventh is Counter Offer. And eighth is Jim Rocks. Angling out from third now is West Coast Kid. About 2.5, 3 lengths off the leader, Saratoga Blue Chip, who hit 3/4 in 129 and 3. So a 28 and 4 third quarter. Saratoga Blue Chip is looking to close this one out. Jameson calls upon him. West Coast Kid is coming. So too it's Highland Beach Best. And on the far outside is Roy Hill. 16th to go. And in the center of the track, look at the strides on Highlands Beach Best, who is making up ground and coming on to win, because off stride went Saratoga Blue Chip. Highland Beach Best takes it. West Coast Kid was second. Third was Saratoga Blue Chip. Fourth was Roy Hill, followed then by Hot Off the Press K, Osias, Counter Offer, and Jim Rocks, 157 and 2. Order of finish from qualifier number 10. Number 1, Osias was 6th. Number 2, Counter Offer 7th. Number 3, West Coast Kid 2nd. Number 4, Jim Rocks was 8th. Number 5, Highland Beach Best was the winner. Number 6, Hot Off the Press K 5th. Number 7, Saratoga Blue Chip 3rd. And number 8, Roy Hill was 4th. 6, 7, 2, 8, 1, 5, 3, 4. Your order of finish. Fractions were 31 and 1. 1 minute and 4/5, 129 and 3, 157 and 2 for the winner. Number 5, Highland Beach Best, a Some Beach Somewhere colt out of the Rock and Roll Hanover mare Rockin' Highland, owned and bred by Highland Thoroughbred Farm. Marty Fine, part of the ownership. Amanda Fine, the winning trainer. Sylvan Filion was in the sulky. Highland Beach Best takes qualifier number 10. Starting gate now rolling for the 11th and final qualifier here on this Saturday at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Number 1, Surreal Love, is a gelded son of So Surreal out of a Shark St. Partners mare. The stable Surreal Love is the owner. Harry Polton trains. Anthony McDonald drives. $6,000 Goshen buy. 2, Springbridge Duel, a big Jim colt out of a Mach 3 mare owned by Westwind Stable, Steve Heimbecker, and along with Mark Kenotrowitz. Casey Coleman Herlihy is the trainer. Bob McClure drives a $40,000 Harrisburg buy. 3, the Fat Cobra is a gelded son of Always Be Mickey out of a Dragon Again mare. The stable the Fat Cobra owns. Amy McDonald trains. Louis Watt drives a $15,000 Lexington purchase. 4, Major Makeover is an Art Major colt out of a Cam's Card Shark mare owned by Hut Racing Stable, Blake McIntosh, and Touchstone Farms. McIntosh trains. James McDonald drives $25,000. At the Harrisburg sale. 5, You're the One, a Shanghai Phil colt out of an Usher Hanover mare, owned and bred by Jody Cullen. Travis Cullen and Ron Cullen share ownership. Jody Cullen trains. Ron Cullen will drive. 6 is Kioquat, a sports writer colt out of a Some Beach Somewhere mare, owned by Clay Horner, David Wilmot, and Scott Horner. Greg McNair trains. Doug McNair drives. 60. And number 8, Space Cowboy, better than Cheddar colt out of Rock and Roll Hanover mare, owned by Vincenzo Stranges and Mike Pelosi. Herb Holland trains. Sylvan Filion drives a $14,000 Lexington grad. So they're off and pacing in the 11th and final qualifier. Major Makeover gets out to the early lead, cutting in front of Surreal Love. Here on the outside, Kioquat is now going to work his way up to the lead. So a good beginning for Kioquat, and he touches down on the front just as they entered that first bend. Getting away in third is Surreal Love. Then racing in fourth is Springbridge Duel. Opening quarter, 31 seconds flat. Checking in with the Fat Cobra, who is fifth, followed by You're the One, sixth, and seventh is Space Cowboy. Group of 7 moves into the backstretch, and Major Makeover is going to come around. Major Makeover will retake the lead from Kioquat. Then in third, that is Surreal Love, followed fourth by Springbridge Duel. Fifth up the backstretch, the Fat Cobra, You're the One, and the trailer, Space Cowboy. Group of 7 heading up towards the half. And the leader now is Major Makeover, second qualifier for this son of Art Major. Was second last week, timed in 2 minutes and 2/5. Leads past the half in 1:01 even. Lead begins to grow here as they roll into the far turn. It's out to about 3 lengths. Major Makeover now is really picking it up. Kioquat's in second, then in third. That is Surreal Love, followed in fourth by Springbridge Duel. Break of about 4 lengths going back to the Fat Cobra fifth. 6 is You're the One. As they head towards 3/4, the trailer is Space Cowboy. 3/4 is going to be up on the board, courtesy of the leader, Major Makeover, in 1:29. 28 seconds in the third split. Off the turn and into the stretch. The Fat Cobra made a break going around the final turn. It's Major Makeover on top. With a target, Springbridge Duel. He is going right at it, and Springbridge Duel is quickly closing in, but is still a length and a half away. It's Major Makeover, Springbridge Duel, then Kioquat in third, going well back to Surreal Love in fourth. It's going to be Major Makeover to win by a length. Second was Springbridge Duel. Third was Kioquat. Then fourth will go to Surreal Love, followed by You're the One, Space Cowboy, and the Fat Cobra. 156 flat for Major Makeover in the finale.